Hey, what's going on, Nikhil?
Hey, nothing much, Nick. How are you?
Doing well. How's everything been?
It's been all right. Yeah, I just wrapped up like the customer support assistant I was working on for one of my friends. I think there's like still some tweaks that need to go into that. Um, but it was pretty good. I like hooked it up to a phone number. We were able to call it. We were able to actually have it like use the rag and provide customer support as needed. So he's going to test it out and see what changes need to be made. But that's a big win.
Okay, yeah, definitely good stuff. Um, so we're just gonna test out the demo and everything. Where things at with the did the other guy end up following up or no?
No, I texted him last week and I followed up this week and he just never texted me back.
Sure, gotcha. Not a huge deal. Um, where things at with outreach and I guess like picking up the niches.
Yeah, so I'm trying to do so my niche exploration was a little bit more in like the real estate realm. So I had done a bunch of outreach that first week and then I had some of these projects that I was trying to work through and so I'd kind of prioritize them. I had a I think I might have told you I had a friend come to me and say his friend who's in real estate like insurance had a use case that he needed automation to be done for. And so I've been really working on that. And the hope is that if we can get a solution spun up for that, he has like a whole network of insurance agents there that we might be
Hmm.
able to use this same
Do you have any
automation
idea
for.
what he was looking for?
Yeah, it's basically a lead generation system. Uh, so this is very specific to his use case, but he's in the South Florida area. So there's a South Florida business journal. They post articles about the new developments that are taking place and each of those articles has like people that are running that project. And so basically what he needs to do is get those articles as quickly as possible, get the name of the developer, find all the like big wigs on LinkedIn or on their website or whatever it might be, and then reach out to them on LinkedIn or reach out to them via cold email to basically sell them insurance.
Hmm.
And he wants to be like the first mover on that. Right now, it's a very, very manual process. He wants to be able to automate it as much as possible so that he's able to just like create a list of leads the second that a project is posted publicly. Um, and so we built out like a significant portion of it. Like we're able to like log into that South Florida Business Journal website, scrape the article, extract the name of the company of the developer, like save that to a Google Sheet. And now we just basically need to be able to find all those people, like the key people on LinkedIn and
So you've already
find their
started
emails and
with
websites and stuff
him.
like that. Yeah.
Okay. Um, did you guys arrange any sort of just set up any arrangements thus far?
Arrangements in terms of
Like any business relationship, like, if I do this project for you, you'll give me, just like a case study in return, or, did you guys arrange any sort of payment for this one-off thing?
no, we actually had so I asked my friends kind of as soon as he brought it to me, I was like how much would he be willing to pay for this? Like what's his pain point? How much is he losing? And he was basically like this is someone I know, like this is a personal friend, and so I think he'd probably pay a lot of money for it, but I don't want to charge him too much because like the value for him is like if this really works for him, he can spread it to like his whole network of
Mhm.
insurance agents and stuff like that. And so I'm actually a little bit not not totally clear on like what the kind of final arrangement is here. I think we've kind of been treating it as like a let's get to a proof of concept and see from there. Um, But yeah, I guess we could have laid out the terms a little bit more clearly.
Yeah, I mean, since it's like beginning project, it's not a huge deal because like even just a case study is pretty huge and like
Yep.
what we're actually looking for. So not a huge deal. But okay. By the way, what exact like verticals or like what type of real estate are both of these people within?
Um, so the well, it's it, it's basically like very large scale residential real estate. So think of like in the hundreds of millions. Like they're either building like huge neighborhoods or they're building like huge collections of apartment buildings.
Mhm.
And so they're trying to sell insurance at like that scale. They're trying to sell insurance for these like multi-hundred million-dollar developments.
Right. Okay. I'm just thinking because like obviously like once you do deliver these couple projects, like you'll want to be able to go to like similar businesses.
Yep.
So making sure like that this market is actually going to be valid enough. Have you had a chance to like go through and dive into the qualification checklist just to really see like get a sense of what this niche actually looks like beyond these two people?
Um, no, I actually haven't. I think with a bunch of other stuff I've had going on, I mean, I've just tried to focus on like getting the automations done. I've had less of like an opportunity to like to kind of think bigger picture.
Yeah. Okay. When you get a chance, definitely check out the niche like section.
Okay.
So I'm sure you've already watched like niche selection. But beyond that, there's a quick video. It's about like 10 minutes or so, just going through like what makes like a niche like actually valid to like continue diving into it and like serving it.
Right.
We just want to make sure like it's actually going to be like, once you move on from these two people, you'll be able to reach out to two different similar companies. But yeah, so definitely check out that video when you get a chance. Cool. So right now you guys are already working on the kind of like the PC.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm kind of wondering, so I'm kind of wondering what kind of stuff you guys built in the lead generation space. I don't know if you've done anything for real estate specifically, or something similar to this problem that we're trying to solve. The Yeah, like I said, we have like a part of the pipeline, but we don't have the whole pipeline. So I'm curious if you have something similar that you've created.
Yeah, definitely not the beginning piece. I mean, we've had things in the past like where we've like obviously like scraped from different websites, but by the way, what are you using to scrape? Are you using like a headless browser or like an RSS feed?
We tried to use RSS feeds, and like for some reason we couldn't get the full articles out of the RSS feeds. That would have been the ideal. That's where we started. We're like basically using Playwright, which is like it controls your
Yeah, the headless
browser.
browser.
Yeah, and it signs in, and then we're using this thing called Agent QL to like scrape the content. Um, yeah.
Mhm. Um, yeah, that that should work, but I know in the past like we've ran into some limitations with some websites just or like providers, not providers, it would be whatever like platform it is, usually like a third party, like we're trying to scrape. Like when we try to log in, it'll be against their like TOS and there can be like some restrictions on like scraping, whatever it may be. I don't
Yep.
if it's just like articles, you guys should be fine, but it's just some things to kind of consider.
Right.
Uh, that's like something that's prohibited us from moving on to like projects in the past because we don't want our client getting sued for scraping when they weren't allowed to. But you guys
Yeah.
should be fine. Um, okay. So building out the proof of concept, have you talked with the client yourself?
I personally have not, no. He just sent me a like loom of their call together where he was like
Mhm.
showing his manual process. That was just yesterday, so I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Okay. Well, did you have any particular questions?
Um, well, I'm curious, like once we are, I guess, how have your lead generation systems worked in the past. So have you used systems like Apollo to like
Hmm.
enrich and qualify leads?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we've only built out like one lead gen system before,
Okay.
and it was for like a marketing agency. And that's exactly what we're using. So we just use Apollo and Appify. And it was like a little bit manual in the sense that like the client would do like the searches themselves. We just like made it easier for them to go through like your lead gen. But yeah, like we were able to like enrich and look for like these people online and everything and personalize these emails as much as possible. So I mean, there's a lot you can be doing. So is Apollo what you're going to be using to identify the leads?
That's something we were looking into. I mean, there's a bunch of them, right? There's like Rocket Reach, and I know that my friend has a like a subscription to Rocket Reach, but I don't think they have like a integration with N8N as easily as Apollo or a more established system. So Apollo is what we've been exploring.
Okay. And okay, so
And
what it's actually doing is it's scraping these posts and it's trying to find like, can you just like break it down a little bit further? Because I'm like trying
yeah,
to identify like if they're going to be on LinkedIn or if they're going to be on X maybe or Facebook.
yeah. So okay. So it's scraping the article. It's grabbing the company. Let's say the company's name is New Rock. New
Hmm.
Rock New Rock has like a chain of command. It has like a hierarchy, right? It has CEO and, VP of construction, whatever that hierarchy might
And
be.
all of those companies are real estate companies themselves.
Well, like, yeah, what we're scraping off of the article, yeah, they're real estate companies.
Hmm. Okay.
And so we'll grab that, and then we need to either find on their website or find through LinkedIn, like the people section of LinkedIn on the company. We need to find basically the like higher ups and their contact information. So I don't know what experience you have with kind of grabbing information and scraping information from LinkedIn. Because like when I
Yeah.
looked at some of the N8N integration with LinkedIn, it was like pretty much just create a post. I didn't see anything to be able to like extract people or any
I
of
do.
that.
I don't have access to the workflow anymore. I don't have the account for the client credentials anymore. But what we used was Rapid API, just like it's just like Appify, and essentially it just had access. Essentially, it was just scraping LinkedIn,
Okay.
and it was trying to find particular people's profiles. So we weren't grabbing like the company and then like the top decision makers. We were just searching based off of a name, based on like a name that we had. So you can look into Rapid API and see what the marketplace offers, if there's anything in particular. And then,
Okay.
if you find something you want to use, it'll be maybe like $20 a month to rent that out, depending on if they're charging a lot or not. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, there's like obviously like going to be you're going to want to be using some different sources. So um, like you mentioned, like Rocket Reach, Apollo. You can use Rapid API or Appify to be scraping from LinkedIn, things like that. And then there's also what's it called? Tech Crunch. I could be completely wrong in that. Hold on.
TechCrunch is like tech news stuff.
I'm thinking of Crunchbase.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Crunchbase is I tried in the past using I think it was Appify, seeing if they had something to pull from Crunchbase. I ran into some limitations. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was a long time ago. But it's definitely worth like if you find that the companies are often on like Crunchbase, then that's gonna be better weights to be scraping. So yeah, really it's just gonna be like researching like where are these companies? Like you could just honestly go through the process manually and then just identify like if we search them on LinkedIn, are they always coming up? Or if we search like these articles post companies on Crunchbase, are they always coming up? Same thing with what's the other one? There's another popular one. It's called can't think of it right now. Pretty popular. Um, I'll let you know if I think of it.
Okay.
But yeah, so really just going through the process manually. Like, have you done that thus far?
I personally have not, but he has. And I mean we kind of walk through it for the most part together, but minus any of the other systems. So like not using Apollo or Rocket Reach or anything, like kind of literally just going to LinkedIn, clicking on the people page, seeing like, okay, which
Mhm.
one of these people will we get and stuff like that. We have done, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Yeah, so definitely continue on that. Like, let me know if you guys have any issues at all. I mean, obviously, like you're more technical than me, but like we might
Yep.
have done something else that's like kind of similar to what other whatever path you guys may have chosen
Okay.
to go down. But also like I do want you to keep in mind like you do want to like be thinking like high level about this as well. So like yeah, definitely like try to deliver this as fast as possible so you get results and can go to other companies. But like the biggest thing is like making sure that you'll be able to like actually sell maybe similar solutions to similar companies or maybe like adjacent niches. So like real estate brokerages, random example. Going
Yep.
to them, selling to them like a lead generation thing. Although this sounds like a very nuanced, particular type of workflow that maybe only be applicable to them. But yeah, really just like considering like what is going to be the next step after this. So one, like determining going through that like niche qualification checklist. You
Yep.
just have to be thinking like high level about this stuff and always like the next step and like what you're doing right now is going to help like fuel that next step. So yeah, biggest piece, just walk through that niche qualification checklist lesson. Let me know if you have any questions on that. I do ask you to like make a post or just like let me know like what like you ultimately end up choosing.
Yep.
And yeah, we could go from there. But
Okay.
yeah, besides that, obviously like we have the office hours Monday, Wednesday, usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday from my end. But
Okay.
yeah, if you do want to jump on like a call, just let me know and we could set something up.
Yeah, I will. And I'm gonna focus in on this automation because I think that if we can get this to him, like they've already had the conversation about like, well, this is like he's an insurance agent just for South Florida, but essentially this same thing happens in every single state,
Hmm.
like at this scale.
Yeah.
So and this guy that we're doing this for has a lot of contacts in the industry and stuff like that. So that's why I'm kind of honing in on this one because I feel like there is a niche here and that I was not familiar with previously, and this guy has a lot more information than I do. So I think I'm going to take this as a learning process, and then from here we can kind of see if we can expand because I'm sure that other other insurance agents in this niche have a very similar process for generating leads.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, it's like I mentioned, like it's a great like foot in the door type of thing.
Yep.
Which is why like not really concerned about like you not locking in a price or anything like that. But
Yep.
once you guys do have like the PC and you talk with him, that's when like
Yep.
you will want to like set up some sort of arrangement and like actually make sure that he will either like introduce you to other people, definitely at the very least give you a good case study.
Yep.
But yeah, cool. So let me know how that goes. Um, and once you kind of like do a little bit of research into like the niche and everything.
Sounds good.
Cool. Anything else?
No, for right now, I think I'm all right.
Nice. Cool. All right. Well, I will talk to you, I guess, either next week or if you have any questions before then.
Sounds good. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
of course. All right. See you.
See ya.
Hey, what's going on, Obi?
Doing good. Good morning. I
Hey,
did
good
not know
morning.
we had a class this morning. Apologies. I'll be more on this moving forward.
No worries. I mean, like usually what we typically do is set up like just like a quick one-on-one, and then um, from there can join like all the office hours and everything. But if you'd like, we can just kind of have that like one-on-one right now.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I'll turn on my camera. I was literally in the midst of responding to your message, your email this morning, but let me all right, can you see me?
Yep. Cool. So yeah, biggest thing with like the one-on-one, just kind of what we typically do. I mean, we kind of discussed this like in that like discovery call, but really just like next steps. So kind of understanding like what more granularly like what you would like to really be building, any particular niches that you may have in mind, even though like you will be diving a little bit more specifically into that like once you watch one of the first few videos. um but yeah.
Yeah. So just for transparency, I'm on a work call. I'm not talking right now, but I'm listening to you as well. So I'm just trying to make sure you don't feel like I'm not paying
No, you're
100%
good.
attention here. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, so I was actually literally just writing this up. So particularly interested in real estate, property management, healthcare practices, so dentists, small clinics, and then compliance and legal firms. I feel like there's a lot of redundancy in all of these industries, and I feel like they could definitely use some sort of AI automation to streamline their workflows.
Mhm.
I'm not opposed to going outside that, honestly. Those are industries where I have some reach, I guess. Like I know a few dental office owners. I know a few legal firms that I did business with a long time ago when I was in the real estate business. And I also have access to agents from my affiliation with just being a realtor from back in the day. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just talking with Nikhil, somebody else on the program right now, and he's targeting real estate agents. Still like trying to like dial in on like what particular like niche within that he wants to service. Um, but yeah, so we have, I think I mentioned this with you before, but on our first call, but we have tried to target real estate agents in the past. We actually have a couple of clients right now on board, real estate wholesaling particularly. So not like any like brokerages or anything like that. It's definitely a solid niche. It's growing, and depending on like what type of like field you go in within that, like they're usually it's pretty injected with cash, I could say. But again, like I know I discussed this, like just targeting like agents as opposed to like the head honchos. So it makes things a little bit more difficult. So yeah, just something to consider there. The other ones, did you mention dental clinics?
I did. So healthcare, um, basically just healthcare practices in general. So dentists, small clinics, whatnot.
Hmm. Yeah, did you have anything top of mind that you would implement with them?
One of my good friends, her brother just opened a dental clinic. I just figured he must be going through just trying to set things up. It would be nice to have someone that can come and, you know, help optimize whatever processes.
Hmm.
Um, I also have a pretty good relationship with the dental clinic I go to. It's actually in Jersey, even though I live in New York. But I just like the service, and they're a little bit more established, but I wouldn't be opposed
Yeah.
to approaching them to just see how they're doing what they're doing. The reason why I like healthcare practices is like they have the money, and if they can prove the value, they would be willing to work with you.
Mm.
Um, but I don't have any.
Yeah. Not all of them have healthcare. Yeah. Not all of them have money. We've been finding that out recently. So we've like our one company like Sync 2, like we focus specifically within healthcare. We actually just closed a dental clinic last week.
Mhm.
And I'm not too sure about like the automation side. We haven't really like dove into any of that. Like what we deliver for them is like voice solutions. So yeah, like one thing, like we're not going to decide on particular niche on this call or anything like that, but
Yeah.
you know, just kind of chopping it up and like seeing what we could be exploring. So what you're going to be watching, like within those first few videos, especially like within the niche lesson, the biggest thing is just like determining like what are you interested in, and like what are you interested in, what actually like has the need for AI and automations, and also what do you have connections within. So if you'd be able to get something, you know, get that first gig with your dentist out in either New York or Jersey, I can't remember. Yeah, I mean, like it'd be worth exploring there, but something to keep in mind, like in the US, like we do have to achieve like HIPAA compliancy. So sometimes that makes things very complicated. So like for us in particular, like we had to build out like something for just to build out like the instance in like AWS and everything. So we couldn't use like VAPI and all these other like third-party platforms, like I mentioned yesterday. We had to hire like developers to and like consultants to like help just make sure that we're going to achieve compliancy. So it can be a headache trying to, depending on like what you're trying to do, it can be a headache trying to be HIPAA compliant. So just something to like keep in the back of your mind. But you know, like I still think it's worth like reaching out to that dentist and just getting an idea of like what they would want automated, like just understanding their pain points. Yeah, that's really what you should be just doing, is understanding their pain points, and then from there you can determine like, okay, here's what we could develop to help out, and then you know you can spend some time, like you and I can discuss like, is it going to be worth it to build that out, depending on like the HIPAA, you know, how compliant you have to be and all the workarounds you have to go through. So at this stage, really just exploring like all the different connections that you have in different industries and everything. So real estate, was there another one that you mentioned?
For real estate, I mentioned property management, but again, like just because I have a lot of wealth of knowledge in that area, I know that there's appraisers, there is property inspectors, there's real estate insurance, there is property managers. I think wholesalers actually make a lot of sense because they typically work outside the guardrails of like real estate as we know it. They're kind of like the outliers that don't want to work with the banks. So a lot of what they're doing is usually in tangent with the title companies. I think maybe like real estate transaction workflows, being able to vet very quickly who they're talking to, like sellers and stuff like that. I don't know how we would do that with an automation or a voice type of automation, but I think this kind of conversations with it that I had after we've had a conversation with 1, 2, 3 wholesalers, and you keep hearing the same resounding problem, then you figure that's something that you could build a solution around. I think I also mentioned compliance and legal firms, but then again, it brings us back to that whole conversation of privacy. Legal firms are, like I told you before, one of my main jobs is actually I work at a law firm, and everything is locked down. Like no recording on Zoom, no transcription. You got to get permission for everything because a lot of what they're doing. Again, this is like one of the 50 AM law firms, so like, so obviously they take privacy seriously, but we might have to maneuver around how to gain access to data without exposing data. So like just encryption in motion, encryption at rest, and stuff like that. But a quick way around the whole compliance thing, wouldn't it just be easy to just build on their platform? So like just build in their cloud. So that way we're not having to take them out of their own security controls.
Yeah, I mean, as long as like you get access to their server and everything.
Exactly. I think and probably
Yeah, that's like what we would do if like we were working with somebody who did have their own server. Like for example, it was some like SaaS company. They had like they were using Azure, and yeah, I mean like they were very
Okay.
Like, yeah, they're very uppity about like privacy. I mean, I get it. Like they're startups, so an AI startup especially. So, um, yeah, like we were able to build whatever on their Azure server. So like we just inputted all the N8N workflows, backed it up on there, that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I definitely see why they would be very compliance or security focused and not want to just let anyone come in and move things around.
Yeah. Um, so within all of these, like just consider biggest thing, like, do I have friends and people who would be willing to like allow me to pilot some things with them, whatever solution it may be. And then from there, it's pretty simple. It's really just going through similar businesses and trying to sell them something, similar solution that you built out for them, assuming that you got like a case study. So like I mentioned yesterday, like taking that case study, like we built this out, saved them 10 hours a day across like their team, or drove an additional $10,000 a month, whatever it may be. But yeah, so at this stage, really just consider like what you have around you, because that's going to be like the easiest way to like speed up your process.
Okay. Okay, no, that's definitely helpful. I've already started watching, by the way, so I think I
Okay.
just finished the just 1 second. I finished the I finished the welcome module. I'm in the niche model now. I'm only 17 minutes into the niche model, so
Yeah, that I'm basically in the niche video. I'm basically talking what I'm going through right now. At least like the core premise. But yeah, so did you have any particular questions or any concerns about everything?
yeah, I did have questions, not concerns. So this is actually one of my questions in my email. So the students that have been successful through this program, and I know there's not a lot of them, but like the ones that are performing, they're going out, they're doing what they need to be doing. Like, what is that first 30? Have you seen any similarities in that first 30 days? Like, what are they doing? Because I don't want to spend my whole time just watching
Yeah,
classes.
for them, like it's literally just going to it's like about having those connections. So like Nikhil, for example, he joined a couple weeks ago, something like that, and he's already working with like 2 companies right now, and um they're like both within real estate, but like he had those connections, so like it was easy for him. So I mean, like for some people, like they'll get off a little bit faster. um they may get clients or their first deal faster than like some other people, but like some other people, like maybe you don't have as many like connections to leverage, but it definitely like puts you a little bit of ahead. But you can, there's still like plenty of ways. Like I didn't leverage any connections. Well, actually, like I tried working with a law firm for like a month, and like I had calls with them, but they were so slow moving, it just ended up leading nowhere. So I didn't have like any friends or anything like that, because like when I started, I was like 23 at the time, so I didn't have any like friends who had like businesses and knew anybody who would be willing to do this stuff. Also, like AI was a little bit even more like curious and like dangerous seeming. So yeah, I mean, like it's definitely, I don't want you to think like if you don't have anybody to reach out to, like it's the end of the world, because it's definitely not.
Mhm. Okay, no, that's
Um,
definitely helpful.
yeah, but like think about it, like if you do have like a friend's business that's willing to take you on, like that's gonna make it tenfold easier to like get your start, and it makes you a little bit more comfortable. Because at the end of the day, like we're just like to really like scale and like fly, like we just want to be sending off emails saying like, hey, you have these problems, well, I just helped this company do this. So like we're looking for that like first case study and really become like a case study machine.
Got it. Okay, no, this is definitely helpful. Very helpful. What is a if I allocated, so like what I've been doing, what I did this morning was I got up at 5 and between 5 and 7 before I had to get myself ready for daycare. I just kind of like just started going through the classes. Like if I was doing putting like 2 hours to it every morning, how long do you think it would take me to go through the class and just get out there and start?
Not too long. So like the AI agency module, like the start here, that is only maybe like 2 hours. But also like there's things that you should be doing within that. So like assignments, so like to actually execute on them. And yeah, so I mean like the start here, like it could take like about a week to really determine like your niche and everything, and like discuss with me like what should be like the best niche that you should be going with, also to like create an offer, that sort of thing. So it could take like a week, 2 weeks. It really depends. Like everyone moves at their own pace, but to actually like watch everything, it shouldn't take too long to get through. And then the lead generation, you don't have to focus on that module right now.
I don't see lead generation though. Is that a sub module?
If you go into the classroom and you just see the second module called lead generation,
Oh, geez.
we're building it out more. And like I mentioned, I just partnered up with 2 other people who are going to be, kind of kicking things up a notch, even more so. But you're not really at that stage yet. But the technical and AI fundamentals, I recommend not to watch these until later. Like once you actually start getting some deals, or some movement on like niche and like what you're going to be building and offering to other people, because the technical, honestly, with the way things are at, like the barrier to entry and build out like these solutions, it's so low. So I always have people start off with sales and marketing, because I started completely backwards, and I started with the technical and then moved on to sales and marketing, and that delayed me so much. So that's why I promote this approach instead. And then, yeah, I mean, like if you are building out like maybe like a proof of concept or particular demos, like you can take a look at like the N8N blueprints module, see if like I have any similar templates that you can use, or watch like videos on like how I built it out. Or the technical and AI fundamentals, we're also building this out a little bit further to give you more like deep dives into particular topics, like vector databases, for example, and like all the new additions within that. But yeah, like within that, I just kind of break down like as it mentions like the fundamentals, and giving you an idea of like the limitations and that sort of thing. But the biggest piece that you should be focusing on is that AI agency start here module. So the first one.
Okay.
And that shouldn't take you too long to like watch all the concept, but it will take you some time to actually execute, what I'm asking you to do within that.
Okay, so if I were to make a hit list of like the top, the order in which to take this, you would say AI agency first, technical and AI fundamentals I can leave for later. What would be the next one that makes the most sense for me to watch?
You can check out client fulfillment. I mean, that takes maybe 10 minutes to watch. And then if depending on like where you are currently at with understanding N8N, you can just watch the master N8N course. I would say that would be the next step. But yeah, I mean, like this like mentorship, it's kind of a 50-50 type of thing, where like you don't have to watch like that many different videos. It's really just the first module that's like going to be the most important, and then from there it's like execution and just like going back and forth with me to tweak your like executions and stuff like that. So like the campaigns that we're setting up, whatever it may be, that sort of thing.
Okay, that's definitely helpful. And with N8N, I do understand. So the Udemy course I told you about that I took, I've built some automation, like simple, like create like a draft using connecting it to Telegram and giving instructions. I went through RAG, I went through MCP, so I have a pretty decent theoretical knowledge of how that works. But it seems like the top 3 things I should be focusing on is AI agency first. And after that, I should already start talking to people and then client fulfillment and then master and then just kind of pick and choose from different sections as I'm going through the process. Obviously, in conversation with you as well.
Yeah. So honestly, just don't worry about anything beyond like the AI agency, because you're gonna have a lot to do within that.
Okay.
So like reaching out to people, like you should be spending most of your time like just trying to talk to the like, business owners. That's like where you want to
Focus.
dedicate any of your time that you're going to be using. Yeah, like we could discuss it a little bit further, like once you actually finish out the module and everything. We'll definitely need to like have conversations before you even finish the module, like going over like niche and offer and that sort of thing.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. All right. Well, we typically have like office hours, so I have them Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Kashav usually has his technical ones, which he might not needs to be joining for a few weeks. It's Tuesday and Thursdays typically. But yeah, of course, like if you have any questions like before then, feel free to either DM me on the platform. You got my number, you have my email. So if there's anything like urgent, you can text me. But yeah, so anyways, like if you have anything at all, feel free to let me know before our next office hours.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. So you Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday, same time, 10 a.m.
Typically around 10 a.m. It depends on my schedule, but yeah, usually around 10 a.m. Like if you need to do like different times and stuff, like if you can schedule one-on-ones. But yeah, typically I have them in the mornings.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'll post like the schedule usually on Sundays.
Okay.
So you can check that out.
Sweet. Sounds good.
Cool. All right. Well, get started on all that stuff. Let me know how those the videos go, and we'll talk from there.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Nick. Thank you so much.
Of course. All right. See ya. Have a good weekend.
Okay.